Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Hello and welcome to episode 210 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. And this episode is being brought to you by our generous Patreon supporters. You too can help support the show. Just simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $1 per month. Of course, every OTB supporter gets a free On the Bench sticker as well. And of course, you go into the wonderful Patreon Wheel of Fortune. Your Patreon support helps us with our hosting and production costs and are greatly appreciated by the team. Let's hear from the sponsor of the show now, Scale Model Supply.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's hobby paint. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with the Scale Modeler in mind. We have worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush, and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website at scalemodeler.com.au to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day everyone out there in Radioland.
Julian.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are we this morning, gentlemen?
Great.
I'm good.
It's a nice, lovely day outside and we're indoors.
Yeah.
It is nice.
We're modelers. It's beautiful weather outside and we're indoors.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wish I was on holiday somewhere.
Yeah.
I like this sort of weather when I'm on holiday.
Well,
Not too hot.
We're
not too
officially in
cold.
autumn now, so...
Yeah, mind you, we still hit the mid-30s this week.
Yeah, it was pretty warm.
Mm.
But the nights are getting cold now, which is good.
Which is great.
Absolutely. And actually, it's been a little while since we've been behind a microphone because we had a bit of a speed bump because it looked like I might have been heading off away with work, so we had to sort of...
Well, plus I had last week, I had the Models for Heroes
Yeah,
48
and
hour
Models for
build.
Hero, so we'll talk about that later because we've got a lot to talk about in regards to that, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So I think although we're a week behind, we put out 2 extra episodes leading up to this anyway, so we're kind of...
Still in the green.
Yeah, still in the green.
Yep.
The tank is full.
Yep. It is.
So how about we kick back and start talking about
What we've been up
we're
to.
doing, but don't talk about 48 Hour Build because that'll be a separate subject for later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what else have you been up to?
Yeah.
Well, bought
You-
myself another model kit.
Hmm?
Bought myself another model kit.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Bought the Tamiya Mitsubishi Key 46-3 Dyna
Oh, yeah.
with the little scout car, which I didn't realise was, I think, the world's first dedicated four-wheel drive.
Hang on. So you bought an airplane kit and it came with a car?
Kind of little scout car.
Why?
Well, that's how Tamiya boxes it.
Yeah, but why has it got a car with an airplane kit?
Well, the same reason they've got a BMW with the Focke-Wulf 190 kit.
I must not be watching this stuff because I haven't seen any of this.
Yeah, it's not. It's just another boxing that they do.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was quite happy with that.
Yeah,
Bought
because they
some
already-
canopy masks for it. Got some an Edward interior set for me Mitsubishi Key 21A Sally.
Yep.
And some canopy masks for that as well.
Yep.
That's not a bad kit. I think it's ICM. It's a nice looking kit. Looks pretty cool.
Very good.
So, happy with that. And I've decided I'm starting this weekend a buddy build with our good friend Greg from Bacon Bits Models.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What you building?
I'm building the shitty Revell, and I can say it's shitty because I've had a look at the plastic. 1/350 scale SMS Emden.
Ah, and the Emden is famous because?
It was HMAS Sydney's first kill, really, during the First World War in 1914 off the Cocos Islands.
Correct. The Germans thought
They didn't sink it,
Yeah.
but they absolutely cremated this ship.
So the Emden was a raider.
Yeah, it was a raider, German raider.
And the Germans sent down because they had some islands around New Britain in Papua New Guinea.
Correct.
And at the outbreak of the war, they thought they'd send a raider down just to sort of disrupt.
Well, actually, they sent a whole Pacific fleet down.
Yeah.
But then they took off back to Europe and left the Emden behind because she was the fastest one they had. And she did a few raids and attacked the port somewhere. I can't remember where this port was. Did some significant damage to some Russian ships and ended up getting run down by the Sydney.
HMAS Sydney won.
Yep. And she didn't last too long against the Sydney's bigger guns because she only had 10.5s were her biggest caliber gun. But no, the kit's pretty shy.
Okay.
Because the Emden's got these on the stern hull. I've got these cheek guns on the hull itself.
Yep.
The problem is, well, Revell being Revell, they're just moulded on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so they look really, it's just like weird lumps on the front of the ship.
Oh, no.
So that means I could do some surgery, cut the hull back, open them up, put some guns in. Picked up a couple of Edward photo etch sets for it, a Pontos deck, some Master armaments, so all the armaments from Master Models, searchlights from Master Models, and last night ordered from Micro... Was that Mob New Zealand? Micromaster.
Master, yeah.
Yeah, ordered some boats.
Yeah, go check out
Alright.
Micromaster. Just Google it. That guy has got some sensational stuff.
Because I thought, I looked at what I had. Oh, yeah. I'll still spend some more money. So I ended up buying for a future project some the main armament for HMAS Australia 2 for the Kent class.
Oh, very good.
So, yeah.
Now, see, I don't know what the Emden looks like, so I had to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of rigging.
It is a lot of rigging.
Yeah.
Too much rigging for me.
You're doing it waterline or?
No.
Oh, good boy.
No.
And what about Bacon Bits? Is he doing it waterline or?
Of course not.
Okay.
Both doing full. We're both basically
Well, don't
doing
say
it.
of course not, because he actually does do waterline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're basically doing the identical variation of the shed. So hopefully mine will look half as good as his, because he is just such an awesome ship modeler.
He is, and you know what? We need to get him on the show because he is such an awesome ship
builder,
modeler, and it's been a while since we've sort of had an episode dedicated to shipbuilding. So,
Well, we had him on for a bit on when we were up in Canberra.
yeah, I know, but that's only like for a 10-second. I think we need to do a bit more of a deep dive into it
Fully
and
agree.
have him on the show.
Yeah.
So-
So, Greg, if you're listening, your time's coming, mate.
Yeah, it is. Oh, good one. Julian,
Yes. So,
let me guess. You're building a car.
yeah, a few.
See? That.
Well, so, I suppose I should mention the Mooseroo, should I?
No, because we're going to talk about the Musharu later.
Okay.
Well, it's a subject. So.
Okay.
Let's talk about your car model.
Well,
Yeah.
after the Mooseroo, I was free
Yay.
to build my cars again. And so I've been working on that. So I've got the LC Tirana.
Oh, I've got the LJ.
Yes.
Well, basically the same body shot style.
So for our overseas
No.
listeners, the Tirana is a locally produced car, which was produced by General Motors Holden back
Yes.
in the
Back
60s, 70s.
back when we had car companies.
Yeah.
Which we don't anymore.
Yeah, it's like so. This car is for our American friends. It's kind of like, well, for our foreign friends, I should say.
It's like the size of a Chevy Pinto,
Yes, it's like it's like a.
but it looks a lot cooler.
It's a baby muscle car.
Yeah.
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 Is it the one you're building, that V8 as well?
I'm not sure.
253 V8 was the
Yeah.
sweetest V8 engine ever designed and
It was
built.
a little toy,
Loved it.
Little toy
It,
V8.
it may not be. I'm not sure. I don't know. All I know, I think it's one of the earlier variants, earlier models. The one that has like sort of the coloured, like the body coloured stripe that goes through the grille.
Yes, I know the one. Yep.
Yeah, that one. No spoiler. It's just got like two little racing stripes that run down the right
Side of the
top.
yeah.
Right. Well, it's got racing stripe, little tiny pinstripe kind of ones that stop. Sort of 3/4 down the sides. But the racing stripes are offset all the way to the far right of the top.
This is a coupe? Two-door?
Yes.
Yeah.
What colour are you going?
It's a metallic green.
Oh, you're going the whole, and you got the Holden colour.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good thing about our good friends at SMS.
Yeah.
They do Australian car colours
And
Yes.
truck colours as
and
well.
truck colours. Yes. Yeah,
God bless you, Scott.
So I painted it. I've already got like the body painted for the most part. So what happened was I'd hit it with the metallic green, but you know how it is with metallic greens. You want to make sure that I mean it's almost a bit like spraying metallics like you would like aluminium or something, right? But you've also got like a clear green in there, kind of.
Yep.
And so what happens is you have to spray a lot to make sure you got it all.
Yeah. You got significant coverage.
Yeah, and you also don't want to make sure there's any stripes, because sometimes if you don't keep it sort of mixed up and it starts to separate.
Oscillating, yeah.
If the mixture starts to separate because you put it too much in the cup, then you can end up with a different appearance on your model.
Exactly.
In some areas.
Metallics are a fun colour to paint properly.
Yeah, so it's basically you got to pour a bit, shake it up a lot, pour a bit, spray that, do it, and just repeat that as it goes along, so you maintain consistency.
Correct.
But then afterwards, it had very rough finish.
Yeah. Yes.
Because of that.
Oh, so you already painted it.
Yeah, so it had a very rough finish and like sandpaper almost. And then
Was that because it was drying? You had you sprayed
because it's
too
just
far
doing all
away?
those dust coats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so then I threw one layer of clear on it. Then remembered, I have to paint the black area down the bottom.
Hang on. Did you put the clear on before you buffed back the roughness of the paint?
No, I didn't buff the roughness.
Really?
Yeah, not at that point anyway. So, metallic layer,
Yep.
decals, then the first layer of clear.
Yep.
Then I remembered, it's got like a little black area that runs down the bottom.
Yeah.
So from like
on the bottom sill.
yeah, like it's like a trim line, you know. So it's black down the bottom quarter of the bodywork. So then I painted that, threw another layer of clear on it. I thought there's enough clear there over the green areas that I could probably like smooth that out now. And I have this sanding stick, but it's a really heavily cushioned sanding stick. So it's spongy. It's super spongy.
Yeah. What grade?
It's 2500 grit.
Okay. Yep.
And I could it was so easy, so easy. I could just like go so haphazardly with this thing over the top of it. And it would you could see it cut it all down to like nice and flat. It was really nice.
What,
brand?
No. The clear. What brand clear did you use?
Oh, it's the one I always use. It's the Guns
Okay.
Super Clear
Yep.
GX 112.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I tried that last weekend, tried that Super Clear Flat for the first time.
Yeah.
What a game changer that is.
Isn't it?
That is just, like, I've used the Gunzi Flat, even their premium flat, and, yeah, it was pretty good. But nothing comes close to that Super Clear
Yeah,
Flat.
and so
That is just freaking, you put that on there, and it is like instant bang from gloss to flat.
Did you with your gloss? Did you cut it at all? Just put it on straight out of the bottle.
No, I mean, no. I definitely thin it.
What do you thin it with?
I thin it with the leveling thinner.
Oh, okay. So unicorn tears.
Yes.
Yeah. 50-50 or
A bit more than that. Yeah. Because it's quite
So heavy
it's
on the
quite,
thinners.
It's quite thick out of the
it
bottle,
is,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Ian, if you use the rapid thinner, it goes more flat. The flat version.
Really?
Yeah.
interesting.
So I would suggest, and you'll never use the whole thing, right?
No.
Because it lasts forever.
Comes in big bottles.
Yeah. I mean, I use a lot more with the gloss, spraying gloss stuff because, I'm caking this stuff on. I'm hosing late models down. But if you're just doing a flat coat, then you don't use much.
Yep.
Yeah. Great stuff, isn't it? And it dries hard, unlike all the rest of the clears from Guns.
Yeah. And it dries quick.
Yeah.
It dried so quick. Like, it's nearly drying as quick as SMS paint.
Wow.
It was freaking insane. Well, I needed it because I was doing that build that I had very limited time.
Yes. So the thinner I told you about, like the rapid thinner, it's the opposite of the leveling thinner. So the leveling thinner increases drying time.
Yeah.
The rapid thinner shortens it.
I'll have to get some.
So it guesses it prevents any kind of leveling that goes on.
Looks like a trip to the Hobby Man on the way back from the studio.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you may find it's not there.
Oh, they got a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, but just know that it exists. And
It's like last night I found out watching our good friend Clayton's Workbench Hobbies that you can get Gunze, what do they call it, the Mahogany 1000.
In spray rattle can.
In spray rattle cans. I didn't know you could get those in
yeah.
spray rattle cans.
Yes, you can. You can get a few colours now.
If you're going to the Hobby Man, I'm going to come along with you, I think.
All right.
Yeah, because I need some stuff as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like we're all going. And Julian can join us too.
Why not?
We'll all go.
It's dangerous if you go with me, though, because I egg you on to buy stuff.
I've learned not to listen to you anymore. Yeah, so
Well, I pop in there nearly every Thursday after work while I'm waiting for my noodles to get cooked on the other side. Just before they close and have a quick browse, but there's nothing really new there that grabbed me. But I do know I do need to get some new sanding sticks.
Yeah.
Because mine are pretty much getting worn out now.
So how is because during 48, you were doing a build, but I don't want to talk about that, but what I want to talk about is your little setup that you'd done in the room. How did it work out for you?
Drives me nuts. I freaking hate it.
But what we saw from those who
I had
popped in
to
and
basically
looked-
pick my monitor up off the desk,
Yep.
put it to the side on 90 degrees, stick it on top of my computer box, so I could have a little bit more elbow room, and the camera could actually face me. The lighting's garbage. I've really got to do something about the lighting. The lighting is just absolute garbage in there.
Oh, just go and get an IKEA lamp and on one of these swivel things like this.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm
shove it in there.
thinking of doing next week.
Yeah.
Well, I'll spend a fair bit of cash this month, so I've got to wait for me. I think next week's payday, so
We'll talk about cash spent later.
and yeah, I'll be spending a ton of money. That's the problem. I'm not paying rent anymore. I'm just going, I'm going to buy this. And I just go freaking nuts just buying stuff.
Well, at least you don't have one of those fly in, fly out jobs.
Yeah,
Those people are known for just dumping cash left, right, and centre.
Well, that's why those hobby shops over in Western Australia are so big.
No, yeah.
And like, I'm pretty sure I spoke about it when I got back from a trip over to Western Australia. You go to a hobby shop there, and it's like bowling alley sort of size.
Yeah.
And you got 4 lanes. One lane will just be plastic. One lane will just be radio control cars. One lane will be radio control aircraft. And one lane will be all the other stuff and paints and all that.
Yeah.
And, these guys fly in after being away for 2 weeks. And, of course, big boys need big toys. There's nothing rocking in and sort of slapping down.
I'm glad I'm not like that. Like I know in my younger years, I was quite intrigued in saturation diving. I thought, I wonder if that could be a career choice, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, although they get paid big bucks, those saturation divers.
Yeah,
$500,000.
but then you hear some of the disaster stories. Like,
I know,
yeah. I'm going to hear about one poor guy who snapped his umbilical.
Yeah,
because the ship, the computers went down on
they're
the
making
ship.
a movie of this now.
Oh, they are they?
That's
yeah.
where he was without air for like 40 minutes or something, or an hour and a half.
Something like that, half an hour or something without air.
Yeah, and he got revived.
And when you're that far down, there is no light.
Yeah.
Right? And what happened is the computers went on the ship, so the ship couldn't stay level. And so they told him to get back into the diving bell. But they were working on some sort of pyramidical structure, and his umbilical got snagged on that, and then it snapped as the ship drifted away. And there he was. And when it snapped, it flung him away from the pyramid that he was working on. And there he is, lying on the seafloor. No light, no oxygen. Well, limited, like about 10 minutes worth of oxygen or something.
Well, that's what
And he reckons he's just stood up and he's just taken a guess and just walked straight ahead. Luckily, he walked in the right direction and found the structure, climbed to the top, where he eventually ran out of air.
And technically died.
And they got him, half an hour.
No, it's like half an hour, 40 minutes later before they found him, because they couldn't find him,
And they've dragged him back into the diving bell, thinking, he's dead. And one guy said, look, I'll try and revive him, but I don't think there's much choice. Bang, they revived him. He was fine. And also the cold down there is what
cold and the pressure or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's horror story. And there's other stories where people get sort of working on pipes and they get sucked into the pipe and squashed and all this sort of stuff.
Or I remember reading about one where the compression chamber
exploded.
Basically just turned them into soup within a second.
Oh man,
it's like nah, good money but not worth it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how a lot of those jobs tend to be. Like there's not much risk of injury, but there's a high risk of dying.
Yeah.
Right.
Sudden catastrophic death.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what you get paid the big bucks for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that's why.
Jeez, we moved on that one.
But no, that's why I'm spending money at the moment. I recently bought a whole heap of new brushes.
Oh, good.
I bought a heap of. I have never had of these before. So the saw brushes.
Saw brushes.
Yeah.
SAW.
Yep.
Okay.
They're basically it's like a flat brush.
Yep.
But instead of being flat at the top, it's saw shaped. So it's got like teeth.
Yeah.
And apparently they're very good for like when you're doing streaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
streaking
sense.
effects.
Where'd you find them?
B&A.
Right.
Yeah, bought a heap of brushes. You never have enough brushes.
You know, it's surprisingly hard to find those more specialized brushes. Like nowadays, it's very common for you to be able to get a hold of dry brushes, right? The short, stubby ones.
Oh, the round ones.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you want the sort of things like like the forked brushes that people like to use for streaking, grime,
like
and
the
stuff
saw,
like
the
that.
saw shape that I got.
Yeah, those are much harder to find.
B&A's got a good selection of those.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that they do. But I've looked for it at say the Hobby Man, and I haven't been able to find it.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like there's the actual sort of like for figure painting type stuff. Like your your numbered brushes, but stuff that are sort of specific to the hobby.
Yep.
Are much more difficult to find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there you go. And what about you, Dave? What have you been up to?
Well, that damn albatross around my neck, that bloody kinetic Harrier that I'm building. I've lost the nose wheel. Well, not just the nose wheel, but the whole
strut
and all. And
so, who's bringing the razor?
Well, hang on. Wait a minute. I've still built it. I'm just going to find that.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, I'll shove a bloody a matchstick up there and add a wheel, get a matchbox wheel and stick it next to it. That'll do. That'll be classified as finishing.
Or close the doors and put a crate underneath it, like that one that had to land on.
Yeah, I thought of that, but look, I'm sure. I mean, my hobby room, my build room is an absolute pigsty at the moment.
It's not that bad. I don't.
Oh,
Jill and I poked our heads in there before. It's not too bad.
It's a pigsty. In fact, you can hear the pig oinking as it runs around underneath. And so I've got to get there and clean it. So I'm sure as I'm cleaning it, I'll find.
Well,
it.
yeah, that's a good thing to do.
But I remember I remember assembling it and putting it aside. So it's there somewhere. I just can't find it. So anyway, I've cracked the wobblies on that one. They're at the club. Our local club got contacted by a guy who has got a Airfix 1/44 scale Saturn 5.
It's a pretty old kid, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd like somebody to build it because his hand motor skills are just gone now, and so he's not able to build it. So I put my hand up and said, yeah, I'll build that for you. So I picked that up last night, and I might even start that this weekend, actually. I don't think I've got anything on tomorrow. Or even this afternoon after I get back with you guys from the hobby shop. So I'll start on that after I clean my hobby room up, and that's pretty much it. I've got lots of stuff lined up ready to go. I've got some fantastic kits that are on their way from the US. These 3D printed stuff that I'll talk about when they arrive because they're just sexy as heck.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a couple of things to come in too.
And I've got another big kit that's arriving shortly, but I'll talk about that once it arrives. Oh, no, I'll talk about that when we get into talking about 48 and 48, which is perhaps a good time to have a quick break, and we will lead into... We'll have a look at mail, first of all.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about 48, and then also have a chat about the Moosaroo Cup, which, as we record, is actually being judged this week.
Really?
Because Heritage Con is on this weekend.
Ah,
so,
cool.
yeah. All right, let's have a quick break, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. Let's have a look at some
Mail.
mail that we've got. Oh, Julian sent me something.
Yeah.
We'll have a look at that later on. All right, the first one comes from Thomas Gardner, who writes in, "G'day, Dave, Ian and Julian. Thanks for your ongoing contribution to the modelling community through your podcast. I always look forward to the new episodes dropping and find the discussions a great modelling mojo booster. I hope you're all keeping cool this summer and getting some good progress on various projects. I seem to have contracted the car modelling bug from Julian." Oh, you
Good.
poor thing. "And recently finished a 124 scale Tamiya 1970 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Street Custom. I'm now halfway through a Fujimi Porsche 917K Le Mans car in the Golf livery with photo etch detail in the same scale. Trying to achieve that perfect glossy Duco finish is certainly a challenge after many years of military modelling, but one that I'm very much enjoying so far. So I thought I'd share a couple of quick modelling tips I've learnt over the past few years for what they're worth. Number one, a foam block with bamboo skewer alligator clips to hold small parts for airbrushing is a great investment. Mm-hmm. If sorted into different groups by colour, this provides a quick and efficient way to paint small components. I also use small bits of tape on the bamboo skewers, designating the part number. Well, that's a good idea.
That's exactly what I do.
So I don't lose track of things. Strategically place pieces of blue tack, or poster putty as our American friends know it, on small mating surfaces, or also prevents later scraping, sanding back of paint during assembly. Modelling tip number 2. Spray rattle cans are a great way to achieve a great finish, often quicker and with less margin of error than using an airbrush in many cases. You know, I have to agree. I quite often reach for a rattle can as a quick and dirty way of doing something rather than pulling out the airbrush and doing all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Just because with car stuff, it's like all the underside is just filled with black things.
Yeah, that's
I can
right.
just spray black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. Tip number 3, the human thumb fingernail is one of the hobby's most underrated tools. It can be used as a paint palette, scraping tool, well, not in my case because I chew my nails, or a clamp for photo etch or small parts when used in conjunction with your other digits. Number 4, moving away from water-based and acrylic paints to lacquer-based paints thinned with Mr. Hobby leveling thinner took my airbrushing game to the next level.
Yes.
Point number 5, sweeping over your models with anti-static brush prior to spraying. I have the Tamiya one. Really cuts down on the amount of airborne nasties that get attracted to your freshly painted model. I've also found that spraying a fine water mist with an old spray bottle over your booth work area a minute or so before airbrushing also seems to minimise the amount of airborne particles. And of course, remember to gently place a clean container over your model as soon as you've finished spraying.
Yep.
I like that idea of just misting the water into the... Because my booth has got so many fine little particles. I need to give it a good clean.
Yep.
And last but not least, number 6, sites like Temu and AliExpress are a good source for modelling consumables such as pipettes, paint cups, cotton buds, drill bits, standing sticks, etc. It can be obtained cheaply and in bulk, but don't cheap out on paint, tape and tools. Finally, I tried to subscribe to the 48 Challenge build. However, I've not yet received email instructions. Anyway, keep up the good work. That's from Tom Gardner in Bendigo, Victoria.
Yes, I agree with everything he said.
Yeah, and he's posted his pictures of
That's quite
his
nice.
Yes.
What is it? It's
Basically it's a Skyline GTR.
Yeah, okay.
The earliest variant. Technically from before it was Nissan.
And finally, Tom says a big shout out to the awesome members of the Bendigo Scale Modelers Guild.
Yes.
G'day. All right, thanks very much for that, Tom.
Very nice. Very nice.
Now, Gavin Lewis wrote in and he said, "Hi guys, I don't know if you've seen this. All of a sudden, the kit moves up in the list. Love your podcast. Keep it at work. It's a B24J seamless turrets by Aeroscale.
Oh, about time. Because no one makes them with you don't have to join two halves together. You get that.
So these are seamless turrets for the B24J, which has been produced by Hobby Boss. They're in 48 scale and they're going to be available from March the 5th. It'll have the tail turret, model A6B for the B24J model, and the turret is one-piece replacement of the plastic 2 shell, which eliminates the glue seam. And these are available, so go and check them out. They're available from aeroscale.net. Just type in Aeroscale into Google and it will take you there, which is a great tip. So certainly very much...
I'm definitely keen on looking at those.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Gavin. It's a great idea. Dave Haddican writes in, "G'day, Dave, Ian and Julian. Just wanted to drop you a little note to say how wonderful it is to see the notification in my podcast library that another episode of OTB has dropped and is available for my listening delection. You guys somehow continue to cover fresh and new content in your 9th season, a remarkable effort and one that is appreciated by your audience across the globe. I appreciate the humour and camaraderie that you display in each episode. I also find the show to be a constant source of inspiration and try to use the information that you and your guests discuss as a means of developing and improving my own modelling skills. As an example of this, you have inspired me to build my first base for one of my models to enter my first model show, which is going to be Scale ACT 2022. To build something in a scale other than 72nd, much to the disappointment of Mr. Dave Knights. And this year, you are collectively responsible for me attempting to build my first non-wingy thing, which is going to be the excellent Tamiya 135th scale tank, Tiger tank. Not to be satisfied with building a tank, I'm also attempting to paint my first figures and also build a set of trees for my Ardennes diorama. I've attached some images of my progress to date. There's still plenty of weathering to do in the tank, and the diorama is in the very early stages of creation. And hopefully I'll have something finished that I can display in Scale ACT 25 later this year. Just thought I'd say thanks for keeping me company on my modelling desk and for keeping the modelling mojo well and truly alive. Good luck with the Mooseroos Cup, Julian, and looking forward to seeing the finished product. Kind regards, Dave Haddican from Canberra, and he has posted a picture of his King Tiger, and he's doing a nice job there with that paint. I can't wait to see that finished with all the weathering. That'll be extremely nice.
Ambush scheme.
And
nice job on those pine trees.
The pine trees are very, very nice indeed. So lovely looking diorama you got there coming on. And if you're going to Scale ACT this year, don't forget, don't just enter one model, enter 5, because we're going to #1000.
Yep.
We're pushing for 1,000 models to be entered. I want to give those judges a hard time up there in Canberra, and the only way we can do that is by entering as many models as we can. So don't just enter 1, enter 5.
Yes, thank you for the good luck wishes, but they might be in vain. The competition is fierce, and I've never made a diorama before.
Paulo Castro writes in, "Hi David and Julian. I write from the sunny Adelaide. As a long time listener, I really enjoy your show and listening to it during my time on the bench. When listening to the latest episode, I have to agree with Rob. The models are becoming very similar and sometimes caricatured with excessive black panel lines or too much contrast. I believe the reason is that modelers nowadays use other modelers' work to create their models, not just the technique and products, but weathering the models based on someone else's work and not based on photographs and research, as I think it should be. I understand that in the end, each modeler builds for their own satisfaction, but doing the way most are doing, they really miss the creativity and development of their own style. Thanks for the great show and keep up the good work, guys. And that's cheers from Paulo Castro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we
Look, I do it myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I take a lot of my weathering, especially my chipping technique I've taken from Uncle Night Shift.
Oh, yeah.
Especially his early stuff, we did it all by hand because I find that very zen. Just to sit there for a couple of days, just chipping away, painting little chips and scratches.
Yeah, but I would argue that that's a more unique way.
Yeah, rather than the sponge technique, which is quick and dirty.
Most people don't even do that. Most people use chipping fluid, don't they? Well, I mean, if you're try harding anyway.
Well, chipping fluid gives you a different result. It depends, but yeah.
At least no one's doing that stupid Vegemite.
I did that
anymore.
once. I did that once.
What a terrible idea.
Well, here's my problem, okay? So, and it's funny, I was having a talk with Greg from our club last night about this, is that I struggle when I'm doing a model. If I didn't have any sort of guidance in regards to colour schemes or anything like that, I'd just be stuck there because I struggle to visualise what sort of schemes to put onto a model.
Okay.
I mean, I know if I was just building a tank, yes, I just straight, olive drab for a Sherman, for example. That's not an issue.
Or sand and green.
Yeah, anything outside of the normal sort of guide rails, I struggle with, and I'm always in awe of people who can just pull something out of thin air and do something completely different from imagination. I don't have that sort of mind. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
So I do have to look, especially with my sort of science fiction stuff and whatever, I have to look for guidance from what other people have done as to clue me in on, what sort of colours work.
Yeah.
I mean, let's.
It's not that big a deal. Yes,
for me it is. I find it as a huge blocker and an impediment to me going forward. And if I didn't have
just
visual
stumble your
clues.
way through it like everybody else. It's fine.
Yeah. But I don't have that sort of artistic sort of, or I can't draw to save myself.
I can't draw either.
I can't. I can't look at pencils or look at a whole heap of paints and go, oh yeah, that one goes with that one. It just doesn't
colour
work.
wheel.
Yeah, but even the colour wheel, I don't understand how colour wheels work. And
you've never been taught.
Well, that's true.
There's a whole science behind it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're supposed to
just go listen to the bloody Built Sideways podcast.
Oh, look, I have, and
Brian can't help but bring up the bloody colour theory.
But
he's like a missionary who knocks on your door and goes, "Can I talk to you about our Lord and Savior, the colour wheel?"
But I do understand, like when you're doing like a purple and you go sort of 2 shades up for the next one. I understand that, but for me to even decide to use purple in the first place is where my stumbling block, unless I've seen it used how it works somewhere else before.
I'm going to be using purple soon.
And
not on the ship.
What are you using purple for?
I'm doing a bust as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A bust of what?
Cthulhu.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Let me talk to you about my Lord Saviour Cthulhu.
I thought he's supposed to be green.
He is. But I'm going to have like a purpley shade near the base of his tentacles.
Oh, yeah. The underside bits of the tentacles.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Okay, very cool.
Nice. So I do get what we're saying, and we did touch on it when we spoke to Rob Riv on our last episode. And
we've kind of lost our way from when we were kids and first modelling, where we just we didn't care.
It's like, this is the funny thing. Like
it was more an adventure rather than we've now got tasks ahead of us.
Well, I think when I was a kid, when I very first started modelling, the point of modelling was to finish it so you could play with it. So you rush through all that sort of stuff. And it's like, no. We're onto something here because I look at one of my grandsons and he's running around, he's finding all these bugs, and I'm going, what bugs? And he goes, this one, I'll show you. And because they're sort of down low and close to the ground, I remember when I was a kid, I used to find Christmas beetles all the time and earwigs all the time, and I hardly see one now. And it's not that they're not there.
It's just that we're high up.
It's just that we're high up and we're not looking, tuned into that sort of thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time you found an emperor gum caterpillar? I haven't seen one in must be 50 years.
Yeah.
They're there.
Are you going to become a bug modeler?
No. I'm just using this as an example as to how we, to one of a better term, we use our sort of childish innocence as we grow older.
Yes.
Some modelers are able to still keep on that and channel it into the artistic side, and that's how they're able to bring new stuff into it.
I know what you're talking about. So, like, for example, if you sometimes listen to like musicians talk about their craft, there'll be like some musicians who try to avoid listening to music in general because it'll influence their work, and they want to create something different. And I understand that. But at the same time, there are benefits to seeing what everyone else is doing and adopting some of that.
Well, in fact, the musician, it's perfect, because if I was to play an instrument, and I used to play a trumpet when I was in high school, I've got my banjo sitting over there in the corner.
Banjo.
But all I could do was either play from the sheet music, or when I'm playing the trumpet, or with banjo, just do a couple of tunes that I'd sort of learnt. I wouldn't be able to play jazz, for example, because my brain prevents me from doing that sort of virtuoso sort of stuff, and I've got the same issue when it comes to modelling as well.
Right. You need to follow a path.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also with the banjo, he's probably Michelle's probably sick of listening to the dog howl as soon as he starts playing.
Well, it's funny. I opened it up the other day, and for some reason, 3 strings have just gone doing and broken.
Oh, that's karma. That's
karma.
Yeah, she's probably snipped those while you.
Yeah, I'm thinking somebody's got in there and snipped some of the strings.
Well, anyway, so the thing is, like, it's going off and doing your own thing and not being influenced by the mainstream.
Yep.
It's a double-edged sword, because, like, yes, you're going to come up with something unique, but what you're coming up with might be garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. It was. I remember when I was a little kid, my first ever diorama was a crashed bear cat.
Yeah.
And like the groundwork was atrocious. I was about 10 years old, and the build was pretty crappy. It was all hand painted and decals that were half hanging off. And I snipped up a pilot figure into little pieces, dropped him in the cockpit with a big daub of red paint. And I was quite proud of that.
Yeah.
Because back then also we didn't have the internet.
And didn't know any different.
And we didn't know any. We didn't have. I remember the first time I bought a monogram. Well, when I bought one of those big monogram kits, and it came with that ship paint booklet, it was like, that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
You can do this with a model kit?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
And nowadays with the internet, everything's just a button press away.
Yeah. So to just bring us back on track and what
we're almost like retreading last episode.
Yeah, but to bring us back on track, and I agree, there's a lot of sort of, for want of a better word, copying, but there's nothing wrong also with that, because other people are inspiring us to sort of do exactly that as well. And through that, through the wonderful art and sensational sort of models that other people build, the general mass is able to sort of come up to that level and build to that level as well. The downside is obviously you've got a uniform sort of look, which I don't think is a bad thing, because it is what it is. But also at the other point too, I can sort of, there's a bit there saying, oh, but where's the creativity side of it? Yeah.
Yep.
But then again, I don't know. I could argue for and against this for another hour. I really could.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why dioramas are so magnetic, because there are so many elements at play, and there are things that you can to make a top tier diorama, you need more than just technical skill. You need more than just the ability to paint and weather a model well. You need composition. Right? You need imagination to create the scene and to cut down like the negative space so that it's not, bland looking or empty looking. There are much more sort of difficult to describe elements to it. They're more artistic and sort of things that require a trained eye and a vision to it.
Yep.
But by the same token, dioramas can also get pretty boring pretty quick. There's only so many ways you can display a tank. You can have different trees, you can have different things but it's still within this little square area.
Well,
But then again, I don't know. Because
I'm going to disagree with you there.
Yeah, me too. Because
Okay.
I've seen some what people might consider to be a bland style diorama, but I've found to be some of the most dynamic and, for me, visually captivating. And I remember one of them was a British tank in the Middle East. I'm not familiar with British tanks, so I don't know that. I know it's one of the ones that begins with the letter C. But it's cresting a sand dune. That's all it is, a sand dune with a steep edge on one side, and it's cresting it. And the way this was done was to me, just screamed action. Another good one I remember seeing is another tank or a vehicle fording a river. And it's just basically just a tank going over a river, but the water splashing over it was just amazing.
I agree with you 100%, but what I'm saying is that even within the diorama, you can have the sameness as you can in just the build of a model which looks exactly the same as all the other ones.
Well, I mean, like, you have to remember that people are low effort, and monkey see, monkey do, right?
That's me. That's me.
And like, it's easy to just go out there and just go, okay, well, what's on the market? Okay, I can buy a diorama bridge diorama.
Yeah.
I can buy some like broken down ruins of a building. Let's do the tank rolls up to a broken building and there's a bloody shepherd with his sheep.
Yeah.
That's standard diorama, like the cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that you can do
Yes.
if you're willing to go off-road and get away from the available products and have to make your own bridge or make your own river and make your own everything,
Agree. But we also must say, and I have to sort of strongly advocate this, there's nothing wrong if somebody would just want to do a cookie cutter diorama.
No, I mean, those are fun. I mean, they
Yes.
sell for a reason because a lot of people want to
Yeah.
do it.
I've got a lot of those sort of bases in my collection.
Yeah, and it's not like those can't be unique either, but I mean, maybe you're going to have to do a bit more to it than what everyone else has.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from cutting it up and
That's right.
chopping and changing.
Yep.
Well,
all right.
that was almost an episode in itself.
Yes. Thanks, Dermot, was it? Yeah.
No, it wasn't Dermot.
Wow.
Oh, Dermot's our next one.
Look at us. We just, you poke us with the pointy stick and we just start talking.
Yes.
But the next email is from Dermot, and Crowley writes in, "Hi guys, I just listened to the latest episode and want to say thanks to the answers to my questions re going the next level with the basics. Exactly what I was looking for. Sometimes these tips seem so obvious when given, but they are not at all. I especially love the use of masking tape to protect when sanding seams and cutting out thin plastic to cover obvious ejector pin marks. By the way, here's my picture of my C130J 172nd diorama that I mentioned. Pretty big, but very pleased with its simplicity."
Nice.
And that looks absolutely
that was really
stunning.
cool. Yeah. I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very, very well done. Good on you, Dermot.
Well done, that man. Now we've got a couple of
Speak pipe.
speak pipe. Yes.
Yeah, let's
have a listen to a couple of speak pipes.
G'day fellas, Wombat Thunder here. Great to meet you at Hobbyman down there in Narrawarren the other day. And thanks for the shout out. I'm glad you didn't mention the sandpaper finished paint job or the silvered unleavened decals on my M48 A3. Well, because that would be embarrassing. You'll be pleased to know I trailed on the weathering, so now she's looking better than lipstick on a pig. Because of you guys, I've signed up for 48 in 48 and already have an MAK kit for later in the year. Good work, fellas. Model on, model on. Cheers.
Nice to hear from you, mate, and glad that things are working out for you.
Yeah, it's good to meet up with you the other weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, keep modelling, mate. Keep modelling. Keep going strong.
All right, let's have a listen to another voicemail.
Hi guys, Stu here from Black Hat Scale Models. Hey, I just wanted to give a big shout out from Cyclonic Brisbane. I'm sure you can hear the wind and noise in the background. Just want to let you know we're all safe and sound at the moment. Alfred seems to be a bit of a all show and no go at this stage, so stay safe everyone, stay indoors. Hope to see you all at the upcoming 48 and 48 challenge weekend. And keep building your models. We'll see you soon. Bye for now, guys.
Well, thanks, Stuart. I'm glad that you are nice and safe. And yes, the cyclone turned out to be a bit of a... Well, it's kind of a fizzer, not a fizzer. I mean, it ended up being a tropical low and then just sat over the area and just dumped a whole heap of rain. And But
I know lots of people were out power
for a long time. But it could have been a lot worse. So
definitely. So yeah,
and we've got a lot of listeners up in Queensland too.
We do.
Who've we've been sort of checking up with them, making sure they're okay. Like the Quokka.
Yep.
I reached out to the Quokka to see how he was going.
He's doing all right.
In the lead up, and he was doing fine, which is good to hear.
Yep.
Yeah.
So no, good. Looking forward to catching up with you too, Stu.
QMHE, which is coming up in August, and we have a lot more to say about that as we move forward.
Dave and I have our plane tickets already.
Yeah, plane tickets already booked. So Julian, unfortunately, can't make it this time, but that's okay.
Hopefully next year we can drag him with us.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so if you want to send us an email, you can write to onthebench64@gmail.com, and don't forget to check out the ability to leave us a voicemail message, just like those two wonderful gentlemen have. You'll find the link in the show notes. Just click on the link, and I'll also post it again on our Facebook page, so you can just click the link there and just drop us a voicemail. We love hearing from you.
We do.
And what you've got to say. Before we move on, we've got a couple of announcements in regards to some shows that are coming up. Drew Savage writes in and just says that he continually thoroughly enjoys listening to our OTB episodes, and he's sorry that we're not going to be at Nats this August, but he understands that we've got to pick our contents.
Drew's been a long time listener.
He has, but he wants us to just say that if you'd be so kind as to add SilverCon to your contest announcement rotation, I'd appreciate that. Well, that's no problem at all.
Yeah.
So on May the 17th, SilverCon 2025 is going to be running, and the theme is going to be the Vietnam War. The details are, it is on Saturday, May the 17th at the Town and Country Lutheran Church, 4049 Marconi Avenue, Sacramento, California. To qualify for the theme award, entry needs to be something from the time period of 1955 to 1975. That's the Vietnam War. Mm-hmm. And items could be cars, real space even. Oh, wow, okay. And there's going to be vendors and a raffle, of course. Doors open at 9 a.m. with registration closing at noon, and the judging starts at noon. And they hope to have the awards finished by 3:30. It's going to be a standard IPMS 1, 2, 3 format, and we'll put second and third place awards on the table, and only the first place and best of winners will be announced. So check out their Facebook page for updates, which would be IPMS Silver Wings, and get along to SilverCon 2025 if you happen to be in the Sacramento area of California, or indeed the surroundings of that, and head over to SilverCon 2025.
Be there or be square, mate.
Yeah. Okay. I missed this one.
Uriah Cohn.
Thank you. Hello, benchers out there. I'm traveling to Denver, Colorado in the last week of March and then to Las Vegas in the first week of April. Are there any recommendations for modelers, mainly events and shops? I don't know how much free time I'll have, but it'll be awesome to meet fellow modelers. Happy modeling. And, I really can't tell you what shops, what model shops are around in... Denver, Colorado, you're best having a chat with the Plastic Posse, because some of their guys live in that part of the world.
Yep.
So go and drop them a line and have a chat with them. As for Las Vegas, I've got no idea also.
No, me neither.
And I don't even know what events are sort of occurring during that time there.
He's got a PS there.
The PS says, P.S. Ian, I'm glad you like my stash, the Edward,
yes.
the Edward Mustang for in it was brought after your recommendation of the podcast, and the Airfix Hurricane after Julian's, well, it's an okay kit recommendation.
That's a glowing recommendation for me.
Actually, speaking of hurricanes,
Yeah.
Qatares.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Qatares just dropped that their next release is going to be a Hawker Hurricane Mark 1
Absolutely.
with the either twin blade prop or standard 3-blade.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really excited about that one. I'll be definitely grabbing that one for the stash. So, yeah. Ooh.
We've got one more show announcement to mention, and that is
From
the,
Jamie Adamson.
Yes, g'day, Jamie. Hi, Benchers. Wonder if you could be willing to give IPMS Houston show a plug. It's on May the 3rd at the Stafford Centre in Stafford, Texas. We'll continue with our gold, silver, bronze award system, and this year's theme is Bond 007.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how that comes out as a theme.
Well, anything to do
Gyro-
with
gyro-
Lots of Aston
Gyrocopters?
Martins.
yeah.
Gyrocopters.
Yeah, Aston Martins.
Is there
Space shuttle?
even a gyro?
Space shuttle?
Is there even a gyrocopter model kit?
Oh, I know that, I think it was Airfix bought out that microjet from one of the Bond movies.
You could even do...
Well, there's also a lot of jets and other military vehicles that that are in a lot of the various movies, isn't there?
Yep.
Like, there's that jet scene at the start of the Pierce Brosnan one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's lots of different things. You could do the cars from
Yeah, there's lots of
Live
cars,
and Let
actually.
Die, from when the coppers were chasing him down in the bayou.
The one where it's got that really great, where he does the jump and loops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a Mustang. Mustang, was it?
I can't
geez,
remember.
It was an American muscle car.
Yeah, I know it was a muscle car, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to rewatch the movie to
You
figure
could do a British bomber. That time they lost, the bomber crashed and they pinched the nuke out of it.
Yeah. That was a Vulcan, wasn't it?
Was a Vulcan, yes. Geez, you could do lots of different things.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot in that.
There is a lot in that. Very clever to IPMS Houston.
Yes.
Well done,
Yes,
lads.
very novel idea.
Yeah.
I like it.
So May the 3rd, if you happen to be floating around Texas somewhere, mosey on over to Stamford, Texas.
No,
And,
that was Stafford Centre.
Stafford, Texas, sorry.
Yep, Stafford,
At the
Texas.
Stafford Centre
Yes.
in Stafford, Texas. And check out that show.
Be quite interested to see what Bond theme kits will be on the table.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if anyone's keen enough to take the kit of the Toyota 2000 GT and clip the roof off it. The famous because that car was in one of the Bond movies.
Yep.
But it's the only one that ever was a convertible.
Oh,
because they
right.
never made it as a convertible
It
in
was
real
just
life.
made like for the movie.
Yes.
Cool.
And that's because obviously they couldn't fit the actor into such a small car.
Well, there you go.
all right, let's have another quick break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about 48 and 48 as well as the Mooseroos Cup back very shortly. All right, we're back. I'm going to have a chat about the Mooseroos Cup first of all, and then we'll
we'll
have a
talk
chat
about
about.
Mooseroos.
Okay, so
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so wait. We have not done our Patreon Wheel of Fortune
Oh,
yet.
yeah. What's this week's prize?
This prize is something very, very special. Very exclusive. You cannot purchase these. This is an OTB T-shirt.
Oh.
So let's find
Okay.
out who the lucky winner is going to be. And we'll hit the wheel and spin it. And the wheel goes round and round and round. And the winning name is Tom McCure.
Ah,
Tom,
well done, Tom.
I'll be reaching out to you,
Yep.
finding out what size T-shirt you've got, and I'll get that out in the mail to you. And as I said,
Bit
these
of OTB merch.
yes, these aren't for sale at all. So it's very, very exclusive. But I'll definitely get it out to you. So I'll write your name down now so I do not lose it.
Yeah, so you can put it on, pretend you're David at a show and make an ass out of yourself.
Oh, yeah. And of course, all of our wonderful Patreon supporters automatically go into the Patreon Wheel of Fortune to get a
Win a
chance at winning a fantastic prize.
Yes.
All right. Now we can talk about the Mooseru Cup.
Yes.
Which
Let's
is-
talk about Mooseru, which is getting judged now. Probably.
That's this weekend, absolutely.
So I haven't actually had a look at any of the other contestants.
No, me neither.
'Cause,
I'm keen to see.
So
Well, first of all, we need to talk about what the Mooseru Cup is. So the Mooseru Cup is something that was cooked up between myself and
Stuart.
Sorry, yes, from Scale Modelling Podcast, where we had some friendly rivalry ribbing many years ago.
Between us and the Canucks.
And out of that, we had the Mooseru Cup, and the Mooseru is obviously a play on Canada and Australia.
Yep.
Hence Moose and Roo, to smash the words together.
Yep.
And as other podcasts came on stream, we invited them to sort of join in the fun and frivolity. Frivolity, it's a hard word to get out. And it has been sponsored by LSG Hobby and also the Hamilton IPMS Modelling Club as well. So Lights Coloured Go, this year's is LSG Hobby was the one who was kind enough to donate it. Lightspeed Global. I've got to get that out and give them a real shout because they've done a fantastic job of supporting us for many years now, as have the guys at Hamilton as well in organising and running it and also judging it.
Yeah, and it always gets judged at Heritage Con.
It does. So this year, 2025, it was a ICM 1/72nd scale midget submarine, which there was 2 in the kit.
And you had to build one.
And you had to build one, or you could build 2.
Yeah.
And
It had to be put in a diorama scene.
yes. And if, by the way, if you happen to go to ipmshamilton.ca/Mooseru Cup, you will see all the entrants for 2025. And we'll just step through them and have a look. So the first one's from the Scale Model Podcast. This one they've done, what would you call it, a sea monster?
The Kraken.
Oh, Kraken, I guess, okay. Has actually got the submarine in its clutches in a very, very nice diorama there. It looks
Some
sensational.
seagrass and stuff around it.
Yep. Plastic Model Mojo, which one was done by Dave. He's just done a straight submarine sitting on, looks like a mud flat, or indeed it could be the bottom of the ocean. And very nice, cracking build there, I've got to say, Dave. So some very subtle weathering there. It's a very, very nice, very well done. And, of course, it's in his scale wheelhouse as well, 72nd scale. So he's going to be a happy chappy with that one. Julian from the one and only On the Bench podcast.
Yeah.
You chose to do one where it's sitting in a warehouse on like a truck flatbed.
Well, it's the proper trailer for a type of midget sub, but not this specific one.
I like the dust effects. You've done a great job on the dust to make it look like
Yeah,
it's
I think
sitting there for a long time.
I pushed the limits, and I came out with some pretty decent looking dust. My only sort of there was actually a lot more dust on the wall than it looks like in the photos. Just ended up disappearing.
Yep.
But whatever. I mean, you can't go too hard.
No, that's right.
In any case, there's too much negative space. There's too much room around it, and I would have preferred it if it was a bit tighter. But I mean, I'm not sure how much tighter I would have got it without, where do you draw the line kind of thing.
Yeah.
In any case, maybe I could have put some more things around it, but I didn't want to overreach.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily sort of over-egged it and or put in an element that didn't match the rest.
And have it lost in the background.
Yeah. So I had 2 resin elements in there. So it's one's like a pile of crates with some, canvasy things, and another one's similar but with some drums, and I put that under the rear of the sub.
Yep.
And then I had some wood grain decal that I bought from Ushi a while back that I intended to use on something but didn't know what, and so I was like, I'll just make up a sheet of plywood to stick behind lean it up against the wall. And
yeah, it looks good.
Where'd
Yeah.
you get the brick wall from?
That is I believe it's
Okay.
MIG or AK or something. One of them. They make it as a resin sort of. It comes with a base as well.
Yep.
So it's like a base and corner, and so I had to like chop and change it so that it make it one single.
Oh, so it's not
long
like in
enough
an
wall.
L shape. It's more just a flat background.
Yeah, so I had to make it. That's why it's like that.
Oh, it
But
looks good.
It does the trick, and
Yeah.
it was sort of pretty straightforward.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Done a great job on that, Julie.
Very good.
I did an okay job.
Next entrant is from the Modelling Insanity podcast. And again, this is another Kraken type, Kraken-ish scenario where the submarine has unfortunately been snared and is going to be eaten by the said.
The big blue octopus.
Yeah, sea monster.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. The Model Geeks podcast.
Wow.
This was done by Tim, and he's done a diorama where the sub is on the surface. And in this force perspective, in the background, you can see what seems to be a B-24 Liberator.
Coastal Command.
Yes. Now, I actually saw a different version of this where it's almost like a shadow box.
Yes, me too, yeah.
And
looks
that looked
stunning. Yeah.
Sensational. Almost looks like the aircraft is flying past a full moon. And sort of seen in the foreground, has seen the submarine broaching the surface. And congratulations, Tim, on a very nice, realistic sort of seascape there.
Yeah, totally agree.
You've done a really nice job on that. And for my money, this is my favourite one, my personal favourite one. But obviously, don't be swayed by what I think.
Mine's Julian's.
Really?
Yeah. Got to stick with the OTB crew.
Oh, okay.
Now, the last one is, I think it's the last one. No, it's not the last one. The second last one. One of the other ones is Just Making Conversation. Malcolm did this, and he did an excellent attempt, and I say attempt because he would recognise it himself. He did a cutaway version of the submarine. You can actually see inside, and it shows the crew positions, it shows the engine, shows the torpedo area, and his resin, he had a huge issue with the resin where it just didn't go off, and because it's underwater and you're looking into the side of the cutaway.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's had some major issues with the resin, which is I know he'd be absolutely gutted about this.
Yeah, considering that the amount of work he's put on the actual sub itself, just to have the that's what scares me about resin.
Yeah.
Resin, you can do like this amazing job and spend hours upon hours on creating something fantastic, pop it in the resin only to have it destroy it.
Yeah, and the submarine is positioned at such a height that the periscope is just poking through the surface. So, mate, I really feel for you. I think the concept was brilliant. I love the way you've done the cutaway as well. And ignoring the issues with the resin, I think it's a real cracker of a build.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, totally agree.
Have to be my second favourite, to tell you the truth. Next one, the Built Sideways podcast. I don't know which one of the crew actually did this, but he's actually put two of them in there. It's, again, a water base where one sub is running on the surface and the other one is just broaching the surface in the background with the periscope poking through. Again, a really good seascape. I'm very impressed.
Yeah,
I mean,
looks
you
good.
know, these guys, Built Sideways is more sort of, Gumpler sort of style building and that sort of stuff. And I reckon they've done a really
They've
good
done
job.
a great job on it, yeah. Totally agree.
I have to say, without fear or favour, it's certainly better than I could have attempted for a seascape.
I would not have attempted that.
No, I'm the same. There's no way I would have attempted a seascape. So that's all the entrants. And so best of luck for all of the podcasts who have actually entered. And we take our hat off to everybody who's put in the time. Next year is my turn to build something. So it's with great trepidation that I'm sort of wondering what the announcement's going to be. And
It should be a car.
I think it gets announced at Nats.
I hope it's not a car because I will be livid that I had to build 2 years in a row and none of them were cars.
Well, the reason why you built 2 years in a row is because you failed last year not to submit. You were a DNF. And so for your punishment and your sins, you had to build again. Which is annoying because actually I would have quite liked to have done the submarine when I think about it. So,
Yes.
All right, well done, lads.
Yes.
We wait and see who the winner is.
Yes.
Let's have a chat about what we've done on this weekend just gone. And Ian, how about you kick it off with what we were doing?
Well, we had the Models for Heroes 48 in 48, which was absolutely amazing. This was my 4th year doing it. So, yeah, we started off here in Melbourne at 7:30.
Yep.
Kicked off 7:30 on Friday night, last Friday night.
And the 48, that's for the Models for Heroes charity.
Yep.
And it's an annual thing that's done once a year.
Once a year. And, we'd like people donate. We have a auction at the end of it. The auction went just amazingly. Nearly 500% improvement to last year.
For those who missed it, the idea is over 48 hours you have to build a kit. And it doesn't have to be 48 scale, although it fits well, 48 scale.
Well, it started off as 48. A 48 scale kit, 48.
But
I stick to the 48 rule. For me, it's 48 and 48. So
Well, because you were there from the start, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about the start, but I've done it for 4 years. So my choice this year was the Tamiya M4A1 Sherman, little 48 scale kit from Tamiya, which is a nice kit. The only problem I found was the tracks links, link and length didn't actually reach and mate up properly. So there's some slight gaps here and there.
Well, I can't see any gaps at all looking at it close up.
Yeah, because I had to fiddle with it. But otherwise, it was a nice kit. It doesn't come with a tow cable, so I bought an aftermarket tow cable, some stowage, some 3D printed tankers to put in there. What else? Built a little fence for the background. A couple of French resistance fighters, which are 3D printed. But these 3D printed figures are a bit... the face, there's not much detail on the faces, so...
That's important. That's all right. They're on the side. It's hard to get a good look at their face anyway, because they're between the...
Yeah, so built up the fence, put a bit of...
Where'd you get the fence from?
B&A, I can't remember what brand it was.
Okay.
But it's the only thing that it doesn't come with a fence post, so I had to make the fence post myself.
Right.
Put some French graffiti on the fence, including, what was it, Death to the Traitors or something?
Yeah. Mort or...
Traiteurs.
Traiteurs.
Yes. It's really hard getting online trying to find World War II French anti-Nazi graffiti.
Well, what you do is just go into Translate.
That's a very specific thing.
Yeah, but you just type something in. Into
and I found that Mort Aux Traiteurs, and I've gone, I'll put that on the fence too. But no, I was really happy with it. Put on a little base, cobblestone road. And finished about a couple of hours before.
I recall that you've done like the sort of fence backdrop to an armoured vehicle before.
Yes,
and this one has much better composition. Like it's better framed and distanced, and like the groundwork is sort of just better dialed in.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't know, like a 5 times better than the other one that I've seen. That you do.
Well, I've learnt.
And it's also got, it also helps that it's got figures on it, because the other one didn't.
Yeah, and it's got aftermarket decals.
Oh, yeah.
So the decals were aftermarket as well.
Aftermarket from Star?
Yeah, Star.
Okay.
I've got a heap of them.
They're not bad decals.
They're...
I did not have a problem
found
at all.
them to be a bit like paper. They don't like to conform.
No, I found they did need a little bit of extra pushing.
Yeah.
With decal softener.
I find that for armour, they're passable. Because armour's generally like broad surface areas, no panel lines, no rivet details to nestle things into, and for that it's fine. But if you were to put it on an aircraft, you'd know that they just wouldn't be adequate.
No. But I found that they went on a treat. They conformed nicely. I really got no complaints about it. But I was really happy with the way it finished up. The auction went really well.
Before we get to the auction, so who did you have on with you?
We had Craig from Aussie Scale Models.
Yep.
Callum from Micro Machines. Steph Knightley.
Curse his black heart, Callum.
John Marley.
John Marley, yeah.
Scale Modelling Twins.
Yep.
Myself. Am I missing anyone? No, I think that was it. It was 5 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just 5 of you.
Yeah. But it was good. No, it was good catching up with the guys, watching them all build. John Marley built a early model Spitfire.
Yep.
Mark 1 early. Callum did the what did he build? The Moran's Launier MS 406. Done a cracking job. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
finish on that thing is amazing, and to think he knocked that over in 48 hours.
Curse his black heart.
Craig started with the ICM BF 109 FZ something. But it's a very early ICM kit, and it just ended up just not being able to fit together. So we put that aside and started on I think a Mercury capsule or something.
70-second scale Mercury capsule from
Yeah.
Horizon Models.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember what Steph did. Geez, my memory's going. It's
Yeah.
only been a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steph got his finished. That was good.
And it's also good to see some of our very sort of close friends also involved. in it. We had Stuart from Black Hat Scale Models, and I noticed that Clayton Ockerby's just dropped his latest
video where he's building
podcast.
Yeah, we built the RSO.
Yes, for the 48, and it was very amusing to see to see Clayton, the very unshaven and dishevelled looking.
Getting worn out as the video's coming along because he's been awake for so long. Yes. But he didn't paint it, dude. You got to paint it.
Yeah. Well, he kind of didn't he?
Yeah.
A little bit. So.
Yeah.
And look, the idea is not to finish. If you can finish, it's a bonus. It's all about getting in and having a crack and supporting the charity.
Yep.
One of the highlights of the weekend is obviously the auction, which occurred on the
went
Sunday.
Nuts.
And
People were just throwing money.
Well, let's talk about the Aussie side of it. And I was lucky enough, we got an email from James Skiffins, who is one of the
Was it
movers,
James or Steph? It's James, yep.
who was one of the, and also Steph, who was the auction manager. They're the movers and the shakers that are behind this. So in total, for the whole of the weekend, a total of $21,400 Australian, which is £10,500, was raised for Models for Heroes over the weekend from a combined Australia, New Zealand, UK, Europe, Canada, and the US, which is an amazing effort. This figure includes donations from the Just Giving page, merchandise sales, and the 5 auctions that were held over the weekend. Now, the Australian auction, last year, we raised $425.
Australian, which is not much.
No. This year, we had a 500% increase and raised an astounding $2,031 Australian for the auction.
Yep.
Which is just crazy.
And people were throwing big money at kids.
Well,
I bought the A9X Tirana.
okay, so A9X came up, and the bidding was very fierce for that.
Yeah, I paid, I think, 150 Aussie, which
Yep.
is more than double what the kit's worth.
Yeah,
But I'm not fast. It's going for a good charity.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Dave, you got the Poseidon.
Well, yes, the Poseidon, the 1/44th scale Poseidon has just come on the market, and I thought that's a great kit, and I was planning to buy it. And I thought, you know what, I might have a crack at this in the auction. And the auction was going really well, but then John Marley, he...
Bless his heart.
curse his black heart. He threw in a challenge coin from, I think it was from the guys who went over to...
Do the initial training on it.
training on it, yeah. And I'm a bit of an avid collector of challenge coins. And when I saw that come up, I thought, no, I've got to have a crack.
Yeah.
So the bidding was very fierce, and it got up to about $180. Mind you, I think the kit's only worth $50.
Yeah.
It got up to about $150, $160, and I thought, no, I really want this. I want the coin as well.
Yeah.
So I put in a closing bid of $230, and it was down to like 10 seconds before the auction finished, and I was petrified at being sniped. So I put in another bid for $250,
And sniped yourself.
and I sniped myself. So anyway, so I've got the most expensive kit I think I've ever bought. No, not really, but
no.
pretty close to it.
Yeah.
And that's arriving sometime this week, so I'm very excited about that. But on the Bench podcast, we actually also put a prize up to be auctioned off, and that was to be a producer of the show, where you actually
are a special guest.
Where you actually become
part of the OTB crew.
Yeah, for a day. So you choose what the topic's going to be, and you come along and join us here live if you possibly can. And I thought, they'll probably get about $100 out of that. So the auction was quite intense for that, and ended up finishing up at an amazing $600 won by Alex Johnston.
Yep.
And I've reached out to Alex, and he's actually going to come down on May the 31st, which is one of our recording dates. And he's going to be running the show for the whole day. Come and join us for breakfast.
Yep.
Do the show, and then we'll probably head off to the Hobby Man afterwards together.
Yep.
Should be good.
Be a great day, yeah. Looking
Awesome.
forward to
Very
it.
excited.
But and congrats to you, Alex, for
actually an astounding amount of money to pay, which has gone to a very, very good cause. And I know on behalf of the guys from Models for Heroes, and I know James is actually staggered by it as well. So I think it's definitely something we'll do again next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Because an unusual and different sort of auction item.
It is, yes.
So it was very cool.
Fully agree.
It was very cool. Next year.
Looking forward to it. I'm going to start organising to see what kit I'm going to build next year.
Well, look, I would have loved to have been there for the full weekend, but unfortunately family commitments kept me away from it. But thanks to John Marley, I did pop in on the Sunday, and he actually had me on as one of the co-hosts.
Yes.
And I was very cheeky because as the auctions came up, to push them over $100 limit, I'd throw in like an OTB coin or a OTB T-shirt.
Yep.
And just to, if you win, if the winning bid above this certain amount of money will also get this. And I'm now madly dashing around getting 4 T-shirts organised for the various winners of that. So that turned out to be quite funny as well. So yeah,
it was good. Went for, as I said, it goes for a great charity.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think during the auction we had a record. We had 60 people watching us, and
something like that. Yeah, which is really good sign. Yeah, bigger and better.
Yeah,
next year's all going to be run by us.
Sorry, what?
Next year's going to be run by the Australia. Well, there's no Steph and God, my brain's gone blank today. James, yeah, Steph and James are stepping back.
Oh, are they?
And letting us. We're going to be running it all from the Australian side.
Okay.
For Australia, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So
James won't be able to help himself. He'll pop in.
Of course.
He won't be able to help himself.
Yeah.
All right. Next year, of course, you'll find out more information about that as we get closer and closer to that. So looking forward to having you guys come and join us and pop in.
And I'm working on getting like a little display for Scale ACT.
Oh.
So us guys because everyone's going, we're all meeting up at Scale ACT.
Oh, is Callum coming across the ditch again?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So we're going to bring our kits with us and make a little display.
Oh, so what you built is actually going to display as a little Models for Heroes display. Yeah. That's a clever idea.
Well, we're working on it. I've got to reach out to the guys this weekend.
Well, I think it's a really good idea because hashtag 1000 for Scale ACT 2025. That'll help bring the numbers up.
Yeah.
We want 1,000 models this year.
Yep.
I know the president's listening to this and he's going, oh my God.
He's going, shut up, Dave.
Yeah,
shut up, Dave.
Nah, we want 1,000 models there. So, it should be good. All right, gentlemen, I think that's about time to bring us home.
Yep. Off to the Hobby Man.
Yeah, to the Hobby Man to go and buy some stuff. Closing statements. Ian.
Adios, everybody, in Radio Land.
Julian?
Yes, yeah. I need to do some painting today.
All right, well, I'm going to go spend some money at the Hobby Man. So thanks very much for being with us, and we'll be back in a fortnight. Hope you enjoyed the show, and don't forget there's a whole heap of other wonderful podcasts for you to listen to. Just go to modelpodcasts.com to check out all the other wonderful podcasts that are available for your listening pleasure. And don't forget, we also recommend Black Hat Scale Models YouTube channel, and of course, Workbench Hobbies with our good friend Clayton. Until next fortnight, see you later.